Psychology is one of the most important things in day trading. So in today's video, I'm going to show you the roadmap you need to follow to become a disciplined trader. So today we're going to be going through everything that you need to do to become a disciplined trader. Now, becoming a disciplined trader is probably the main reason why you aren't a successful trader. And it's probably the main reason why you're watching this video, because you know how to trade, and most people know how to trade. The only thing different between me and you is I can control my hands and I'm a disciplined individual on the charts. So today I'm going to show you exactly how you can improve your psychology and improve your discipline, not only on the charts, but off of the charts as well, which then directly correlates onto the charts. Okay, so the first point I want to start off by saying is you have to become disciplined off of the charts. What chance do you think you stand if off of the charts you aren't disciplined? You stand no chance in trading if off of the charts your life is an utter mess and you think you can just come on the charts and make a lot of money. It's not how it works, okay? They go hand in hand, in my opinion. If you're disciplined off of the charts, you're going to have a much higher chance of making money on the charts because you probably know how to control your hands and you probably are a lot more disciplined on the charts. So before we can even look at the charts and before you even start worrying about why you're not disciplined on the charts or why you are, not, your psychology isn't great, you have to look at your outside life. So you have to learn to control your hands off of the charts. Now, what do I mean by this? So before I was a profitable day trader, my life would consist of getting up at around 11 a.m. in the morning, eating junk food, eating rubbish, doing things I know I shouldn't be doing, just doing things that a disciplined individual wouldn't do, living a bit like a bum, okay? And that was directly correlating to the charts, okay? Now, it was only until I realized that until I make a change in my actual life by doing things that I don't want to do, nothing is going to change on the charts. Because if you can't control your hands off of the charts, now what do I mean by this? If you can't not drink fizzy pop, even though you said you don't want to do that, if you can't go to the gym, even though you've said you want to go to the gym, then what chance do you think you have of walking away after taking a loss when you know you shouldn't get back in another trade? What chance do you think you have of not taking a trade on a low probability day? The chance of these things happening are a lot higher because off of the charts, you're not doing the things that you know you should be doing. So why would you expect to be able to do these things on the charts if off of the charts, your everyday life, which your majority of the time is what you're doing, you're not disciplined? You have no chance on the charts. So you need to learn to control your hands off of the charts. Now, how do we do this? So what I want you to start doing is before you jump on the markets, you're only allowed to jump on the markets if you have done 3 things you don't want to do. So my 3 things for me is I have to make my bed every single day. I have to eat 2 clean meals before I start to trade. So that's breakfast and lunch because I trade the New York session. And I have to go to the gym. Those 3 tasks have to be completed before I start to trade. Now, if these aren't completed, I am not allowed to trade, okay? Now, again, it takes discipline to not do that, but I punish myself by not trading if I don't do these 3 things. And I promise you, just doing these 3 things before you trade, yours might be different to mine, yours might not be these silly things like making your bed, but to be honest, I hate making my bed and I can never be asked to do it. So I do the things I don't want to do before jumping on the charts. This will give me a unfair advantage on the markets because, again, no one wants to walk away after losing, but we have to if we want to become disciplined and we want to become a successful trader. So if I can do 3 things before jumping on the charts and before even trading, then the chance of me being disciplined on the charts are a lot higher. And this will only correlate to winning in trading, because once you realize this and you realize that if you win small before you start to trade, these are only 3 small things, but you feel like you've already won at your day, okay? And I think that's the biggest thing. A lot of you guys who are trading and losing and have the worst psychology and have really bad psychology, it's probably because you're living a bit like a bum outside of trading, You're not really doing many things, you're not being productive. And I feel like if you can win before you get onto trading, even though the wins aren't that big, it's not money, it's nothing like that. It's just 3 wins that you've set yourself, set targets, make my bed, eat 3 meals and go to the gym. You've done those 3 things, you already feel like you've won. So if you were to come on the charts and take a loss, it doesn't really feel like a loss because you've already been winning throughout the day and you're ready to take on whatever comes at you next. That's just a big advice I would give you. And then final thing is, again, win off the charts before you start trading, like I've just mentioned then. If you have 3 small wins before you start trading, who cares? I don't care if I lose. I don't care if I don't take a trade because I've won my day already. I've already done 3 things I didn't really want to do. So that's the first point. You have to become disciplined off of the charts before you can even think about becoming disciplined on the charts. Now, the next thing is you need to create a clear trading plan. A lot of you boys wonder why you aren't disciplined on the charts when you don't even know what you're looking for what you're waiting for when you're trading, what you trade. You just trade every single day and you don't know what you're doing. If you want to see the exact trading plan that I stick to, then make sure to join my free Discord, because there's a free PDF in there of my exact trading model that you can follow. There's also a full YouTube video which I'll link below to my trading model, so make sure to go watch that as well if you haven't already. But without a trading plan, you are simply gambling. How can you expect to come onto the charts without an exact plan, an exact set of rules that you're following, and expect to make money? It doesn't work like that. Trading is a game where we have to come on with a plan. We only execute when XXX has happened, and we have to stick to the rules. Otherwise, we are simply gambling. A lot of you are going onto charts without even knowing what to look for or what to do. You shouldn't even be on the charts in the first place, and you're wondering why you have a bad psychology. It's because you don't trust your model. It's because you don't even have a model that consistently works. A lot of the reason why people aren't psychologically disciplined is because they don't even trust in their model. They don't even have data on their model. They don't back their model that much that they feel like after they take a loss, they have to jump into something stupid, which they know is stupid, because they obviously don't back their model, whereas I do. So if I take 3 losses in a row, I'm still sticking to my model because I know the next trade or the one after will be a banger, And this is why having a set trading plan and actually knowing what you're doing and having backing in your model is super, super important. Some of you boys don't even get onto the charts and you don't know when you're trading, what model you're using, and what you need to see before you enter. You're just on the charts, you're on the 1 minute time frame going, oh my days, break of structure, let me get in. It doesn't work like that. We need a trading plan. We need clear rules. Your trading plan must be your trading plan. You need to be able to look at your trading plan, and anyone can see it who's a trader and be like, right, okay, this is exactly what this guy is looking for. Okay, that's what my trading plan looks like. Again, if you want it, make sure to join the free Discord and drop me a DM, and I will send it straight over. Again, having a trading plan, it's super, super important. You will not see results in trading without these things, okay? And I feel like a lot of you boys need to work on things off of the charts before you even focus on the charts, because you can all trade, I'm assuming most of you in here who are watching this video know how to trade. You all know what a fair value gap is. You all know the very basics of trading. The only thing that's stopping you is controlling these hands and being disciplined on the charts. And the only reason to get disciplined on the charts is by doing these things that I'm teaching you here and becoming disciplined off of the charts. I promise you, make a change to your actual life and your trading will multiply. So you now need to also develop emotional discipline. So emotional discipline is essentially, being able to, accept the fact that you lose. You need to be able to accept all the emotions that you're going to feel after a loss, after a win. And a big, big tip that I have for you boys is after every single trade that you take, okay, whether you won, whether you lost, because we can all agree, right, when we're trading, we're very tunnel visioned, and, all you can think about in that moment in time is the trade that you're in and making money, No one ever really thinks about the loss until it actually happens, okay? So the biggest tip that I have for you boys that struggle to walk away after a loss and just be done for the day is, as soon as you take a trade, win or loss, walk away, okay? For 2 minutes, go and get a drink, go outside, go to the toilet, whatever you may want to do, just to take your mind off of the trading. And ask yourself, what's just happened? Okay, today I've lost X amount. Today I've lost 1%. Is it that deep? No. Can it get a lot worse? Yes. If you continue to trade because you're already in this annoyed state, okay, the chance of you then doing something stupid and then ended up being in a worse position is a lot higher, okay? How many times have you boys gone to bed at night wishing that you would have just stopped after that first trade? And it comes back to the same point that I made earlier. You're clearly not confident in your model. Otherwise, you wouldn't be doing these silly things, okay? Until I became confident in my model, until I found a model that works for me and I'm confident in it, I was doing the same dumb shit that you boys are, because you clearly don't understand that your model is going to work over and over again. You clearly think that this is it. This is the last setup that I have to trade. No, another high quality setup will appear. You need to understand that losing is normal. So that's a great tip that I have, is walking away from the charts and just asking yourself, is it that deep? No. Can it get much worse? Yes. So just stop when it's bad. Don't make it worse. Also, something that will really help you improve your emotional discipline is expecting nothing. A lot of you boys are going into the week, going into the day saying, oh, today I want to make X amount of money, or this week I want to make a payout, or this week I want to pass 3 funded accounts. Stop going into the markets with expectations. The second you set an expectation, you subconsciously every single day are working towards that expectation. So let's say you've said this week, I want to make $3,000 on your funded accounts, right? And it gets to Thursday and you've taken no trades. Subconsciously, because you've been putting so much pressure on this number and this thing that you want to achieve, you're going to do, the chance of you making a silly decision is a lot higher because you've said you want to do X amount or X thing, which is fine. I'm not saying goal setting isn't a good thing, but in trading, it is the complete worst thing that you can do. Less is more in trading, so expect nothing. I go into every single day not expecting to take a single trade. I just let the markets play out, and if we get into a trade, we get into a trade. If we lose, I walk away. If I win, I walk away. I'm done for the day. Also, another great tip I have is start to write down how you feel after you've made these silly decisions. So the next time you revenge trade, the next time you get into a trade that you know full well you shouldn't have, write down 10 times in a notebook how you feel and how much you lost. 10 times. It's going to feel like you're in detention like you was in school. But what this will do is this will make you realize that if I don't stop making these same mistakes, I'm going to continually waste money on these accounts. And until you boys realize this, you are going to keep wasting money on these accounts. So you have to become emotionally disciplined. Again, I'm saying all of this stuff like it's easy. I understand it is hard to do, but this is why I'm here to help you. This is what the VIP group is there for, and this is what my one-to-one mentorship is there to do. It's there to help you. It's there to tell you the things that I've been through and I've personally experienced. The reason why I believe I'm so good at teaching about psychology is because I had the worst psychology when it came to trading, and the only way that anything changed was until I changed and until I was told these things. So the next thing I want to talk about is journaling trades, okay? So a lot of you boys journal on your phone or on your laptop. I want that to stop. I want you to journal with a pen and paper. Journaling with a pen and paper, what this does is this actually makes you think about what you're writing, and the things you're writing down, you're processing through your brain because you're actually physically having to do something. If you're typing, when you're typing, you're not really thinking about what you're doing. Having to write something down, what this does is it holds you accountable for the mistakes that you have made. If you're writing something down, when you write, you're going to be going, oh, for God's sake, why did I do that? I knew I should have done that. And next time, hopefully what this does is you don't want to have that embarrassment of writing that thing down that you know for well you shouldn't have done. So next time you don't make the same mistake. So that's a great tip, is do not journal on your phone, journal on a pen and paper. So start to journal so you can see if there's any mistakes you're making so you can improve. So if you're journaling and 3 out of the 5 trades that you've taken in a week lost, and 3 out of the 5 trades that you've taken and you lost were because of the same mistake, well, there you have data, and now with that data you can go and backtest and get better at those things. Therefore, you will have more confidence in your model when you get better at these things. Therefore, the next time you feel like you're wanting to revenge trade, you know you don't have to because you're confident and you know that your model works over a long enough period of time. It comes back to the same thing every time, and it's always confidence in your model. You boys are not confident enough in your model, otherwise you wouldn't be doing these silly things. When I take a loss, I'm not thinking, oh my God, I'm never going to make money again. I'm thinking, okay, let's wait for the next high quality setup because I know my model over a long enough period of time works. Some of you boys don't understand that, which is why you need to start trading my model, or at least give it a shot. The next thing is you need to make sure you're journaling your mistakes. You're only like slowing down your progression if you're lying about the things that you're doing, if you're hiding what you're doing. You know you're making dumb mistakes, so you may as well come clean and write them down what you're doing so you can make a change and stop doing these dumb mistakes. It's okay. A lot of guys come to me and they don't tell me the truth all the time. They say, I'm revenge trading. So I say, how many trades you taken? They say, I took 5 today, when actually they took 50. And I've seen that. I've seen people take 50 trades a day, and it's scary. And you guys are addicted to trading, and some of you have to hear that in order for something to change. Now, the last thing I'm going to talk about today is understanding risk management. This is the most important point out of all of these things, and this right here is probably the reason why a lot of you boys aren't profitable, and I am. The reason I make a lot of money from trading and I'm consistently profitable is because my winning days outweigh my losing days, okay? What do I mean by this? When you boys lose a trade, you don't walk away, you try again. And when that trade fails again, what do? You try again. You try again, you try again. Until number 1, you manage to get out of the drawdown because you got lucky, or number 2, you blow the account and wish you would have just stopped after the first trade. Whereas with me, I take a losing trade or I take a winning trade and I am done for the day. No questions asked, okay? I have a max loss limit of $500 a day per account. If that $500 max loss limit is met, I lock myself on my account and I am not trading that day, okay? That's the only difference between me and a lot of you boys, is my winning days outweigh my losing days. Your losing days spiral into blowing an account or luckily getting out of the drawdown. But I would argue that, getting lucky and getting out of the drawdown is actually a lot worse than blowing the account, because what this then does for your psychology is it makes you think, okay, the next time I lose, I can do the same thing and manage to get out of this drawdown. That is not what we're here to do. We're not here to make a quick money. We're here to make this a longevity thing and a long-lasting thing that we can do forever to make money. Some of you boys are gambling, and you need to understand this, and you need to seek help from someone who knows about this and can help you with these things. So that's why I always go on about my VIP group, because you are held so much accountability for the things that you're doing, and you stop making these silly mistakes because you're surrounded by guys that aren't doing these things. And we're not going to judge, we're not going to tell you you're stupid, but you have to admit the things that you're doing to us, and we'll say, bro, why are you doing that? And the next time you do it, you'll think, okay, I don't need to do that. And the crazy thing is, the insane thing is, when you stop doing these stupid things, you start taking less trades, you stop revenge trading, you realize that, yes, I've taken a loss today, it doesn't matter. And then when you take a winning trade, you're so happy with yourself because you have not done anything stupid. So how much are you willing to lose? This is a serious question that you need to ask yourself. My personal rule is I can only lose max 1% a day, whether that's one trade or whether that's two trades or whether that's three trades. I can lose maximum £500 for the day and I am done. So depending on how high of a quality the setup is or how confident I am will determine how much risk I go into that trade. You need to start setting these type of rules for yourself. Now, after watching this video, if you do all these things that I'm telling you to do and nothing changes, then you aren't doing these things properly, because I am yet to meet someone who stops taking low quality setups and is very disciplined on the charts, who is not consistently profitable. You look at the testimonials inside the Discord, Anton, Matt, Nathan, all these guys who have been learning with me for a few months now and all absolutely killing it, making consistent payouts and profits and rinsing these prop firms, are all doing the things that I'm teaching them. So it clearly works. So what I have to say for you is make sure to get in the free Discord, and if you are serious about leveling up your trading, make sure to join the VIP group or DM me for one-to-one mentorship.